Grief is a pretty incredible thing to look at. Something I've become quite accustomed to, doing a lot of work with other people through their own grief. And of course, my own experiences in the story of Kelly. Having been spending much time here lately, it seems, this of course made sense as a topic of conversation for the angels to come in on. So in that stillness between the breath, Kelly appears to go. And there are where the answers await. You see, they've always been there in that place of infinite knowledge and unconditional love. The place she seems to dip in and out of in the story of Kelly. In the moments the 3D feels more real and tangible, the grief really sets in. The idea of separation, the idea that she's doing this alone, the idea that no one knows her grief uniquely, the idea that she must embark upon the pain of that on a solo journey. And yet none of it is true for her or anyone else. Grief is nothing more than one of the two emotions humans experience. Everything in between is a variation on a scale from love to fear. The variations that move between those two are pointing you back to the realization that you're out of alignment with this moment, and grief falls in there. It is, in fact, fear experienced as real. The acronym FEAR spells it out for you. False evidence appearing real. That's all it is. It is a pointer back to your heart, back to moving to the center. Yes, in grief, we seem to miss the 3D component of the physicality of that which has transitioned. But transition says it to us all. Transition is an energy, a vibration. It's a movement from this to that. They have not left us. We've forgotten our magnificence and left them. But the open door, which no man can shut, will keep presenting itself. That grief is your entryway. It's your entrance, your invitation to notice. Just close your eyes and think of them. Yes, tears may fall, but so will joy. So will the celebration of the life and the moments you did share with them. Those are contained in the unconditional, boundless love that you are. Now, one may think, that's all beautiful and grand, Kelly, but I want to touch them. I want to feel them. I want to smell them. I want to remember their voice. I want to feel the fur as I rub their body. I want to run through the grounds as they leap and they bound. I promise, if you spend more time here and less time in those I wannas, everything you've just asked for will arise. We call that the dream. We call that the fantasy. But I assure you, this false evidence appearing real is the dream. Heaven on earth is not giving any of that any mind attention and recognizing what is stored forever within the unconditional love that you are and always available to tap into right here and right now. Those that you love that appear to have left their physicality are vibrationally bouncing around you, waiting for you to settle in this space called grief. And then and only then will what is your truth can ultimately expand itself and be seen and known more clearly than this false evidence appearing real. Grief is no other than a construct, a belief, an idea that you are somehow separate from that, and that has never, not even for a second, been the truth. The invitation comes again and again through this thing we call grief. We implore you to let the tears fall, the anger come, the anger of God and all that seems to have created this separation is allowed to be there. And on the other side, because of the duality, its truth will present itself as well. There, they meet and walk each other home to the center of your heart, to that place where only an experience of God's love can be experienced now. There, in the confusion of duality, the idea of know them and knowing them reconnect. In the combustion of those two components coming back together, create that which is true. When you're out there working on the dream in the dream, you will suffer every time. But the more time you spend in this space between the breath, in this space where you can close your eyes and feel them, taste them, remember and celebrate them, their energy moves closer and closer to you until it moves through you, and eventually you return to the oneness of it all. This does not require you to leave your apparent physical vessel at all. It just requires you to be willing to let the grief do what it needs to do without any resistance. Tears are beautiful. They're healing and they're cathartic. Pain is the invitation in. It unravels any story about itself. You need do nothing except sit, rest in this silence with absolute surrender to allowing that which is true to land here. Much love. Until next time.